What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Mr. Boring Money, back at you with another one of our episodes. Now, what I wanted to do, depending on when you're listening to this episode, I want to give you a market update and just give you my thoughts on what's going on in the market, and specifically with the crypto market, what happened with FTX, and just kind of share my thoughts on what's going on there. Now, what I want to do is clearly communicate that this is not financial advice by any means whatsoever. All I'm doing is sharing what's worked for me, some of the investment principles that I've learned over the years, and this is for pure entertainment purposes. If you're seeking financial advice, if you have issues with your own portfolio, seek a financial advisor, somebody who's licensed and who's qualified to be able to meet you at your unique needs. This is just for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. Now, the market is very interesting because I play on the blockchain in decentralized finance. Now, I already talked a little bit about decentralized finance in the previous episode, where DeFi, which is short for decentralized finance, DeFi, where you have full sovereignty over your assets. You have full control over your assets. When you are trading crypto on a central exchange, you actually don't have any legitimate control over those assets. Right now, in the case with FTX, they were mismanaging customer funds and customer assets. They were actually taking leverage against customer assets. They were using customer assets to perform trades outside of their terms of service. Now, the reason why central banks can get away with this is because they're insured by the government, right? There's a ton of regulations around it, and they have insurance where they lose customer funds and deposits, it's insured. Like that money is going to be covered up to a certain amount, right? So when it comes to crypto, they don't have that kind of backing because there's no clear regulation as far as how they need to be managing customer funds and the regulations and the policies around that. So when you actually buy crypto on like a Binance, FTX, crypto.com, or any central exchange, you don't actually own those assets. And the situation with FTX, they actually just are proving the case for decentralized finance, right? I only use central exchanges to either process transaction in terms of withdrawal, taking my assets from DeFi to a central exchange so I can convert it to cash and deposit it into my bank account so I can do things like buy real estate, pay bills, or whatever it is that I want to do with the cash flow that I'm producing on the blockchain. Right? When you move your funds from a central exchange to a decentralized wallet, you have full control over it. Now, the caveat with that is that you have full control over it. So if you lose your money in a decentralized situation, you don't have anybody that you can call. You don't have anybody that you can hold accountable. You have full responsibility of that. But what that means is that you are not limited by the central rules and regulation, like the opportunities that you have to take leverage against your own position, execute trades, and produce cash flow are limitless, right? So the case with FTX and the fallout that happened there and the cascading effect that it has on the market as a whole, I think is actually really good for crypto. It's really good for the blockchain. It's just proving the point that we need to move to decentralized finance where people have full sovereignty over their assets. You have full sovereignty over the assets. Government can't come and take your assets from you on the blockchain. They can do that in traditional finance. Even when you put your money in a bank account, you don't actually own that money. Like you're lending that money to the bank and giving them permission to take that money and loan it out to other people 10 times over. All right. So in DeFi, and that's why I'm excited about everything that's going on in the market. In fact, this week, depending on when you're watching it, this week, we're actually putting more money into the blockchain. About $150,000 worth of cash is being deployed on the blockchain because everything is at a discount, right? So I would definitely say for those of you guys who are listening, like take it as a lesson, I hope nobody who is listening have their money on FTX. And I hope that they do right by their customers and ultimately end up refunding everyone whose funds they've lost. But this just means that you got to learn how to start navigating the blockchain so that you have full control and you don't have to depend on anybody to execute trades for you. And you don't have to worry about third parties making poor decisions or being corrupt, because the technology is immutable. Once it's there, it can't be changed, right? Case in point, one of my clients who was investing on the blockchain had put his money in an ecosystem that the website was no longer working because the ecosystem phased out, right? So the people who were funding that project and running that had phased that out, right? So he thought his funds were gone. He thought he had lost everything. But the cool thing about the blockchain is that you can interact directly with the smart contract. So I jumped on a call with them, and we're able to go straight to the code, straight to the blockchain, straight to the smart contract, and get his funds out. Now, mind you, this website has been inactive for 6 months, right? But because smart contracts are immutable, if you understand how to navigate the blockchain, you always have access to your assets, right? So it took us less than 5 minutes to withdraw his funds from this exchange on the blockchain, right? Because just because the website's no longer there, it's still on the blockchain and you can still interact with the smart contract. So that was the cool thing, is the fact that, and contrast that to FTX, they froze withdrawals. They prevent people from getting access to their funds, and they even got hacked and told people to delete the app. So now it's like, who knows how you're going to get your funds? Whereas like on the blockchain, even when the website's deleted, you can still access the actual technology and interact with it directly to get access to your assets. So that's like the stark difference between the two, and why everything that's going on right now with the central exchanges and them, their liquidity being called into question and things like that, is just further pushing the narrative that we need to get more people using and adopting the blockchain. So if you want to learn about how to produce cash flow in the blockchain where you have full sovereignty over your assets and you don't have to worry about a third party making poor decisions with your funds, that you can always have access to it, go ahead and join our Boring Money community. We have a free course where you can just learn a little bit more about it, how to set up your first wallet, how to put funds onto your wallet, and how to transfer funds out of like central exchanges to your own wallet where you have full sovereignty. So it'd be worth checking out, because in the world that we're moving into, the government wants you to have less and less control over your assets. Whereas a blockchain is all about giving full control to those who own the assets. All right. So I hope you found this helpful. That's my thoughts on the market. I'm very, very excited. I'm actively putting more funds into the market because right now is an incredible buying opportunity. Wealth is produced during the bear market. Wealth is created during recessions, not during bull runs. Riches can be made during bull runs, but true wealth is created in the recessions and in the bear market. And if you understand how to leverage capital and understand how to deploy it, you can see all the opportunities that are in the marketplace right now. All right, so I'll catch you in the next one. Deuces. If you found this video helpful, chances are you're gonna find a ton of value in our Boring Money community, where I'm in there live, actively sharing articles, market updates, and just educating you on what's going on in the market real time. So if you don't want to wait for another one of these episodes or another video training to come out, and you want to have live updates on what's happening in the market, go ahead and join the Boring Money community, where you can have access to us and be able to ask any questions that you want, and potentially even get featured in an episode. Till next time, hope to see you on the inside.